All right, Shalom. Good. Let's see. We in there. Shalom, shalom. Let's get right to it, man.
What's happening culturally in Europe, what's
Very
their
sad.
crackdowns on free speech. And they just look
sad.
less and less like we do.
Yeah.
And there's a real question about whether there's a massive shift happening now in terms of world alliances long term.
Well, it's definitely, I think, a new world order. I think the president has sought to it. There's a new world order in trade. There's a new world order in globalization and the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order, and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structures. I mean, NATO, I think, is much different because of the president's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was sort of coasting. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America. Obviously, you saw what happened in Venezuela. So, yeah, the president is putting a stamp on world history, but fundamentally in an America First way. Like
All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who taught me this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, man. All right. Name of this quick show, hit the button. Keep in mind, shit is no longer a conspiracy, huh? Right? It's no longer a conspiracy theory, as you dumb people try to label us with these terms and fear mongering and all of this shit. Now you're seeing that what we've been telling you the whole time is true. All right. I was just thinking about this. Is conspiracy theory definition, right? It says conspiracy theory, a belief that some influential or controlling organization or group is secretly responsible for a notable event or phenomena. You see that? So, and we know who that to be. All right, the international banking elite, the Edomites. All right, the tiny tops, the JOOs. All right, we're in the time where these doubles have to be revealed. All right, so like I said, the point, shit is no longer a conspiracy theory, right? Now all you people that had shit to say about us and all the remarks, now you're eating all those fucking words, man. Now these people are seeing that America is being ran by PDF files. Satanists, sodomites, man. Okay, ancient, witches and warlocks, man. All right, it's over, man. We're gonna keep riding this shit to the ground, man. It's a done deal, right? Isaiah 29. And like I said, it's just the spirit. I'm just, going in the spirit, man. All right. Didn't have any scriptures lined up. We're just gonna go like the wind. All right, Isaiah 29. All right, because this is the time where the Lord said that all things that would be in the dark would eventually be revealed. This is where we at. All right, we're at the end of Esau's rulership. We're at the end of Babylon the Great, which is America. All right, and the irony, which I find funny, this is supposed to be America's 250th birthday year. All right, so a lot has been happening, as they told us in that article from the Economist, the world ahead in 2026. All right, in the photo they left it where people were able to decipher. They showed you the wars, they showed you the vaccines, they showed you plagues. All right, they showed you these various things that the Lord is now beginning to bring on the earth, man. Because another thing too, all right, before I read the scripture, all right, they're bringing another pandemic. All right, they got shit in the making, man. All right, so it's going down. Anyway, Isaiah 29 and 14, it says, therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. But the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. verse 15. Isaiah 29:15, it says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. Yahweh Shemel Shai, and the works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who know of us, right? So like I was talking about before, all right, the age that we live in now is an information age, man. All right, so no stone basically is going unturned, man. All right, the Most High is revealing the top wicked elite that control this world. All right, hence Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So who are they? All right, the international banking elite. All right, which you would know as the so-called Illuminati. All right, the so-called Rothschilds. You know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys. All right, your satanic families that govern the earth, and the ones that we do know and the ones that we don't know. All right, but this is that hidden counsel. All right, this is what's being brought to light right now. All right, so shit is no longer, you can no longer use the words conspiracy or conspiracy theory. All right, what's coming out now is straight facts. All right, and remember, you heard them from the prophets first, right? Ezekiel 33, real quick. All right, because this is where we at. All right, you just heard this guy, JD Vance, pretty much announced that, look, they're bringing in what they call the New World Order. All right, and it's all going to be tied into the beast system, which we've done plenty of lessons going into the different components of the beast, what it's going to consist. All right, these things that are being rolled out now. All right, a one world government, as we just heard here. All right, it says it says a one world government, one world religion, artificial intelligence. All right, which has been running rampant. All right, it's getting better and better. All right, it's surpassed human capability now. All right, and then now they're going to give the AI pretty much the ruling authority. Right, it's going to be making judgment calls. All right, and this is what we've been speaking about. This, I got something else I want to pull up too. Right, let me finish reading that out. All right, not to get all excited. Right, but artificial intelligence, digital currency. All right, all roads lead to the MOTB, the mark of the beast. Social credit scores, personalized QR codes for identification, eventually leads to the MOTB, the mark of the beast. 15-minute cities, food rationing, lab-grown babies with modified DNA. All right, what they call designer babies. All right, because this man is boasting, he's touting now that they don't even need God anymore. Right now, they can make their own clones and humans and shit like that. All right, this is the power that this man has on the left-hand side. Right, and it says transhumanism. It says a system that leads to complete control of the masses. We here, man. Right? You know, and think about it. This information we've been telling the public for years. How much more our elders and apostles and bishops, man? All right, they've been put us on the so-called, you know, the satanic families that rule the earth, who consist of the Illuminati, these different secret councils. All right, who the Edomites are, who the wicked are, the Amalekites, so on and so forth, man. So these things have been in the public knowledge, if you will, man. All right, and now, you know, the common people are starting to become privy. All right, but it's all designed that way because they're intentionally allowing these Epstein files to be brought out, you know, redacted and all of this shit, all of the grotesque sacrifices and rituals. All right, because number one, they know that nobody's not going to do anything, you know, and number two, is being set up so they can bring in the beast system. Right, I was watching a video on it earlier, which was pretty heavy. It was talking about how, you know, the AI is going to be pushed because people are going to be desperate to have, you know, order. All right, they're going to be desperate to get rid of the corruption and the scandals from the people that are in power. So they're going to use the AI to regulate everything, man. Right, basically start over in a fresh, clean slate. Right, so the AI is going to be the you know, the undefiled ruling authority moving forward, and it's all been set up this way. This is why they're pushing more of these files. More shit is coming out about the you know, just all these celebrities and politicians that are involved in the satanic worship, the child sacrifice, and all of this shit, man. All right. So these things are being done with intention. Right. But anyway, right, before we move on, not to rant, right? Because this is a wrap, folks. All right. This is Ezekiel. Just thinking about that real quick. You know, you people ain't got shit else to say to us. Right? Try to paint us as the problem of society. And meanwhile, right, you got these devils that are in power that are doing all of this shit and nobody's saying nothing. All right? People are silent about it. Right? Crazy. Ezekiel 33, just thinking about that. You know, Ezekiel 33 in verse 1, because the people were warned, man. Right? This is Ezekiel 33. All right. Ezekiel 33 and verse 1, it says, again, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchmen, all right, going back to the prophets, all right, we are the watchmen, all right. Verse 3, and when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people. All right. And you people out there that follow us, that watch these videos, whether you watch it from entertainment or not, you've been warned. All right. All these things that are coming out, you've heard about it, you've been warned about it. All right. So it's no excuse. Okay. If we see the sword come upon the land and he blow up the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head, right? Because that person received the warning. All right. You people out there had plenty of time to look into these things that we were talking about. Well, I'm speaking about from years before. All right. All these things that came out, you people, you just shrugged the shoulder. You just dismissed us as being some fucking bug outs, some fear mongers, conspiracy theorists, and all of that. Now look at you, man. All right. Now you're really seeing that this world has been governed. This world is being governed by Satan, man. Remember, Esau is the god of this world. Matter of fact, let me make that point. All right. 2 Corinthians, right? Let me go there. It was Second Corinthians, the 4th chapter, right? Oh yeah. This is 2 Corinthians 4 and 1. I'll read down to the point. All right. 2 Corinthians 4 and 1. It says, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of the Most High deceitfully. Right. We gave you the truth. We gave you 100% truth, man, with zero error through the Holy Spirit. All right. And we have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, man. Not walking in craftiness. This word craftiness goes back to fake wisdom when you look it up. All right. So we weren't misleading the people. We weren't giving you gimmicks. All right. We were giving you the truth straightforward, man. We warned you of these things that you see now. All right. But it says, but by the manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of the Most High. Verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Yeah, those whom the Lord didn't want to receive this word, man. Those that are lost, those that are sanctioned for destruction. All right. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Verse 4, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. Right. So you've been blinded. You people out there that just can't agree, and whatever problems you have with the truth is because you've been blinded by the God of this world, man. Okay, who's the God of this world? Esau. All right, the physical incarnate of the spiritual demon Satan, man. This is his world, right? This is why you're hearing about all these atrocious crimes coming to pass, and nothing's being done about it. No, these people that are in these positions are not being brought to justice because this is his world, right? So the scripture said that in Psalm 73, that he's not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, right? Zechariah was 11 and 5. You know, they slay him. Matter of fact, let me get that too. And I'll come back to that. Just different scriptures hit my mind. Not to be all over the place. Zechariah 11:5, right? Zechariah 11:5, it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, right? The possessors, who are those? The Edomites, the wicked, right? Whose possessors slay them, them is the Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah, he's not held by the rule of law. Right? And you had niggas think, because it was one video that came out, I guess it was something that got leaked in the files, how Epstein didn't want to deal with niggas or whatever the case was. So you jakes that actually believe that, you're fucking retarded, man. All right, a lot of these trafficking children were jakes, man. Okay, and it wasn't just little girls, it was little boys, man. All of this shit is coming out, man. The things they ship overseas, what are they called? Those different cargo, I forgot the name of them. The boats, so they carry those big ass metal cargo things, right? There's a video that came out that you know, the people who work those sites are protesting because they can hear the cries of children in them damn cargo things, man. All right, all this fucking dirt is coming out, man. It's a wrap. But again, as we read, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. You see that? This is his world. This is his heaven, right? And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not, right? So let's go back to the point, and we'll move on to some more clips here, all right? But this is 2 Corinthians 4:4. Again, it says, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai, who is the image of power, should shine unto them. All right. And the light of the Lord didn't shine unto these individuals, man, that are not able to see what we see. All right. They weren't gifted with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, with the vision. You know, verse 5, for we preach not ourselves, but Yahweh Shai HaMashiach the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Yahweh's sake. Verse 6, for the Most High, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, have shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So we're dwelling with the light, all right, in the midst of gross darkness, man. Scriptures talk about that in Isaiah 60, right? Because people are just, show the water, my brother. Yeah, the shipping containers. I don't know why I couldn't think what it was called. Yeah, but these shipping containers are containing hundreds of kids that they're just shipping overseas, man. And the people who work those sites, they said they've been hearing the cries, and the bangs that come from them shipping containers, man. This shit is just, hey, this is next level wicked out here, man. Right? The water. But let me get that in Isaiah 60. All right, because like I was saying, people are just so baffled and so shocked right now for all these different revelations coming to pass about what these devils actually do behind the scenes, right? And like I said, we weren't shocked to hear this shit. We've been talking about this, man. But you people tried to label us crazy. Now you're looking fucking stupid. All right? This world is ran by pure fucking evil, man. And this is why Yahweh Shai is coming back to take these devils from power. Right? You don't believe, but the scriptures say the devils also believe and tremble, man. Right? But you're a so-called atheist, and the Bible is fraudulent and shit. Right? Fuck out of here, man. This is Isaiah 60. All right? You people gonna learn, man. All right? You will warn. Isaiah 60. In verse 1, it says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, is risen upon thee. Verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, gross darkness to people. But the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. You see that? So the scriptures talk about how this world, this current world that we live in, dwells in gross darkness. even gross darkness to people. Okay, because these things have been coming out, man, but nobody wanted to listen. All right, people thought that, oh yeah, it was just that's just conspiracy talk. That's just whatever. And now it's all being brought to light to be true. Right? I just want to hit that word for gross darkness real quick. Bear with me. Let me pull it up. Right? You know, you can't use that word no more. All right? It's all facts. So that word for gross darkness, bear with me. Let me pull it up. Yeah, that word is kashak. All right? Kashak. All right, it says darkness, obscurity, secret place. The point, it says, hence, literally darkness, figuratively, misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness. All right. And look at all the shit that we've been seeing being brought forward in testimonies as of the past couple of weeks now, man. Okay. Nothing but misery, destruction, death. All right. Wickedness, sorrow, ignorance. All right. What's been coming to pass has been real dark, man. Real fucking wicked. Right. Let me get that in, was it in Job real quick, and then we'll move on to the next point. All right. This is a bunch of scriptures just hitting my mind. Like I said, Job, the 10th chapter. Man, Yahweh Shai has to come and destroy this fucking world, man, that we live in, this age that we're in right now. He has to. All right. Job. I was just thinking about that. It was Job, the bear with me. Job 10. All right, let's get that. All right, Job 10. And here we go. Job 10 and 21. And it reads, it says, before I go, whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness in the shadow of death. All right. And that land of darkness, the shadow of death, is Babylon the Great, America, man. That's this place. All right. With no doubt about it. Verse 22. A land of darkness as darkness itself. Right. Think about that. A land of darkness as darkness itself. And of the shadow of death without any order, where light is as darkness. You see that? That's here. Okay, Job was talking about this place right here, Babylon the Great, America, man. Okay, the land of fucking wickedness, man. All right, Satan worship, pedophilia. All right, bestiality, transformism, sodomy, idolatry. All right, that's this place, man. All right, and it's all being revealed. All right. The Lord said he was going to lift the skirt on this place, and look what he's doing. Right. So let's get to it, man. Let's read some more, or let's get some more clips. Right. Let's play this one again, and then we'll go on to this one I had pulled up early on. Play this one more time.
What's happening culturally in Europe? What's
Very
their
sad.
crackdowns on free speech? They just
so
look
sad.
less and less like we do.
Yeah.
And there's a real question about whether there's a massive shift happening now in terms of world alliances long term.
Well, there's definitely, I think, a new world order. I think the president has sought to it. There's a new world order in trade. There's a new world order in globalization and the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order, and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structures. I mean, NATO, I think, is much different because of the president's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was sort of coasting. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America. Obviously, you saw what happened in Venezuela. So, yeah, the president is putting a stamp on world history, but fundamentally in an America First way. Like
Yeah, we're in that transition of the new world order. It's here. All right. Let's get into this next video here.
Trump was put in by the bankers to get the control grid. The other team in the uniparty wasn't moving fast enough. They couldn't get the control grid.
I knew it.
I sent you a link. We just did
Yep.
a new collection of all the things Trump is doing to move the control grid. He is moving very, very fast. When it comes to building,
so?
first he's getting the Real ID implemented very
Okay.
aggressively. Real ID, to do a control grid, you need a very high quality precision national ID that's interoperable with all the other IDs around the world. And he's got Kristi Noem out there pushing the Real ID like there's no tomorrow. So they're working, and it's done through the states, but the feds are pushing it. So the first thing you need is a digital ID. The second thing you need is an all digital financial system. So you got to kill cash, and you got to make everybody interact digitally. And if you look at what he's doing with taxes and Social Security, he's trying to make everybody, he's canceled pennies, but he's also canceled now. Normally I pay my taxes with paper, and now he's saying, no, you got to do everything digital. It's not this year, but next year.
Really?
So he's trying to, if you go through that list, I've got 50 different items of what he's doing. And if you look at what they're doing with the Genius Act and stablecoin, he said no CBDCs, but stablecoin. So I don't know if you've read the Genius Act, which is the new plan for stablecoins. Okay. A CBDC would be issued by the Federal Reserve. So presumably the New York Fed and the Fed member banks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now they are owned by their members. So Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, they own, as members, they own the New York Fed and, basically govern it. Okay. And the New York Fed is the depository for the Treasury, and the different banks work as agent to do those transactions. Okay. So now under the Genius Act, what they're saying is the guys who own the New York Fed are all going to create subsidiaries and issue stablecoin, which will be interoperable and can work with a social credit system. Now, here's the beauty of it. The New York Fed under the law has direct obligations to Congress, and Congress has jurisdiction over them. If you do it through the owners of the Fed, through their private subsidiaries, you're going to have some degree of freedom. So it gives you more freedom.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if you think this is improvement, you have another thing coming.
Oh yeah. See? Oh yeah. All components of the beast, right? It's coming. It's here. All right. Now, as it said here, it said Republican, Democrat, two talking heads, the same snake. All right. As we always bring out, two horns like a lamb, So let me get that in Revelation 13. All right. Because both parties work for the same cause, the same system. All right. Let me just pull it up in the blue letter here. All right. Revelation 13 and 11. All right. Bear with me. All right. Revelation 13 and 11. All right. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. All right. That beast going into the ancient Roman Empire. All right. It says, and he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon, because now, as she was talking about, as we saw here, all right, in the headline or in the little title here, Republican, Democrat, two talking heads, the same snake. All right. And this is the same two-party system. Now you have the Republican and the Democrats. Back then you had the plebeians and the patricians. All right. But they're basically they're two horns on the same head. All right. They're both parties for the agendas of the elite, man. All right. And now we're coming into the point where they're getting ready to speak as a dragon, which is going into this beast system. All right. Like I was saying, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. All right. They're letting you know that they're pushing this chip. They want to chip the planet. Okay. It's all boiling down to what? Social credit scores, global surveillance, being tracked. All right. Everything that we've been discussing. Right. Anyway, Revelation 13 and 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth and had two horns like a lamb. All right. Because Esau, he plays both sides. It says it had two horns like a lamb and he spake as a dragon. And we're coming to that point now of these draconian measures. Verse 12, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, right? And causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. All right, because now where are we at? We're in the spirit of the revival of Rome. All right, Rome 2.0, which is being exercised through America now. Okay, verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. All right, and he did that through the atomic bomb. Okay, his nuclear technology that he has on the left-hand side, his satellites. Right, what's the joint that brought in those California fires and what happened in Hawaii? The dew weapons. All right, how he can emit lasers from the heavens down on the earth. All right, that's part of his blessing, the sword. It says he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Right? Has he not been doing that? Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And right, and people are being deceived now. All right, you're seeing the AI, you're seeing the fucking deep fakes and the holograms. All right, you know, the miracles through the chip to cause a blind man to see, a man that couldn't walk to walk. All right, all these different things are coming to pass now. All right, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. All right, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. Right, and the image of the beast, all right, through this AI, this system is speaking now. It says, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right, now let me pull this up real fast and we'll finish it out. Right, just some stuff from chat that me and the brothers had pulled up some time ago. Right, so we went into GMS teachings on the image of the beast and whatnot. And I just had a screenshot of here from number 4. It says AI, automation, and the image of the beast. All right, Revelation 13:15, the image of the beast should both speak and cause, as we just read. It says GMS often interprets the quote image as a living system, right? A self-operating empire, one that speaks through policy, algorithms, and enforcement, right? It says 6G plus AI fits this eerily well. AI systems speak, decisions, commands, algorithms cause action, humans become secondary operators, right? This is where we at now. All right, so that image, okay, is literally speaking. All right, you know, going into this revived Roman Empire system. All right, but now it's been upgraded to a technocracy, and this AI, as we've been talking about, is the ruling authority, right? The image is a living system, a self-operating empire, as they were talking about. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, not to be all over the place, right? But I have some articles that I had brought out briefly before, and I'm just trying to find it real quick. And they were speaking about how the AI is going to be making judicial decisions. So if you go to court, right, and you go before a judge, it's going to be AI, right? If you get stopped, you know, for some type of crime or whatever, you're going to be judged by AI. I wanted to see what the fuck is that. Hold on one second. I may not be able to pull it up. I'm just looking for it. Bear with me. Damn, I just had it up here not too long ago. We'll get back to the point in a minute. Let me see what this is. Oh man, this is a good one though. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is exactly what we just talked about here. Hold on one second. All right. Here we go. Here's the point, just to add on to what I'm saying. All right. This is from baseunderground.com. It says AI and digital controls signal beast system approach. Right? AI and digital controls signal beast system approach. This came out January 2nd, 2026, right? So it says, advancements in artificial intelligence and digital identification systems accelerate globally, aligning closely with Revelation's description of a coming one world mechanism that restricts buying and selling. Ooh. Bible scholars and quote conspiracy theorists over the decades have tried to match what is foretold in the Bible with current events. Have we not been doing that, man? See? It's the spirit. I didn't even know I was going to say this, right? Bible scholars and quote conspiracy theorists over the decades, years, have been screaming, warning you about this, man, breaking this down properly, right? Over the decades have tried to match what is foretold in the Bible with current events. This is what we do daily. Among the most challenging to reconcile was the mass surveillance and forced acceptance of the beast system for buying and selling, because to properly monitor and control commerce would require technology that goes beyond human command, right? The rise of AI, it says the rise of AI makes it far easier for a near future surveillance scenario. Getting the cameras in place have been easy for a while, but monitoring them all requires advanced AI. Now it is here, right? As we just read, what did it say again? Let me go back. Okay. GMS often interprets the image as a living system, right? It's speaking, it's alive, man. Okay. It has authority. Okay. It's the entity that's going to be governing this world to come, right? A self-operating empire, one that speaks through policy, algorithms, and enforcement. Come on, man. Heavy stuff. All right, let's read some more. And we'll go back to Revelation 13, right? Beautiful. Hey, bro's lighting up the comment board. The water for that. Yep. There we go. This is what I was trying to say earlier. The water, GMS, Good Soldier, 144.3, right? Per ChatGPT, China has the closest thing to robot judges in real courts, and they're here. They already have that here. They're getting ready to roll that out. All right, because remember, this same system that China has was adopted by America. All right, China has the closest thing to robot judges in real courts. Internet courts, like in Hangzhou, Beijing, Guangzhou, use AI to run some online hearings, analyze evidence, and documents suggest rulings and sentences. There are also virtual AI judges and courtroom robots assisting judges with cases. Yeah, that shit is here. Just like they have in China, it is here. The Wada. That's it. Because that's what that movie that Elder Malcolm spoke about, what's it called? Mercy. Let me see. I had the article up here as well. We'll pull that up and read a little bit out of that next. But before I go back to this one in front of me, hold on. All right. Yeah, that's what this was about. All right, we'll tap into this one next. All right. But anyway, let's finish a little bit reading on in there. Right. So, anyways, reading on. Again, it says, jumping down here, it says the Apostle John received a vivid vision on Patmos, recorded in Revelation 13, 16, and 17, right? And these visions were given to him by Yahweh Shimei Shai. All right. Apostle John, he saw the future. He saw the AI. He saw the beast. All right. He saw the chip. Okay. He saw the robotics, all of that. The Apostle John received a vivid vision on Patmos, recorded in Revelation 13, 16 through 17, the King James Version. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. This mark enables total economic enforcement, demanding allegiance to the beast authority. For centuries, believers wondered how such universal control could emerge without modern technology. Today, the infrastructure appears ready. Whew, man, this is what we saying. So throw that conspiracy bullshit out the window. All right? You know, you people were the fools, not us. Right? And we'll be fools for Yahweh's sake. Why? Because we know we got the truth, man. All right? You people are the real idiots out there, man. All right? The real sheep. All right? The what the small hats call them, the goyim. All right? That's you fucking clowns out there, man. Right? Anyway, this is a heavy article too. Do I read more? Yeah, let's read these last two, and then we'll go back to Revelation 13, right? So anyway, it says China leads with its digital yuan overhaul effective January 1st, 2026. Commercial banks will pay interest on eSNY holdings, transitioning the currency from cash equivalent to deposit-based form. This programmable money allows central oversight of transactions. Potentially, let me make it bigger. Potentially limiting spending based on compliance. All right, that's the system that's coming here. All right. Most in the West do not even realize how far China has gone with this technology. Legacy media has all but ignored it because if the people are aware of what's being implemented abroad, we're more likely to recognize it when it creeps in here. Globally, digital ID initiatives expand rapidly. The World Health Organization and partners push interoperable systems linking vaccination records, biometrics, and personal data from birth. These frameworks promise efficiency, but enable cross-border tracking and conditional access to services. In the name of, quote, greater good, systems are being integrated that will force anyone wanting to engage globally to submit to draconian measures. See, that's the spirit, man. We just read that, Revelation 13:11. All right. Had two horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. All right. Last point here. It says all integrates deeply powering surveillance and predictive governance. Facial recognition, neural interfaces, and data analytics monitor behavior in real time. Leaders discuss implants for direct digital communication, echoing warnings of internalized control. This combines nicely with the transhumanist movement, with AI driving it. The potential for a beast system of one world governance is on our doorstep. Whew, man. Let's go back. What more can we say to y'all, man? All right. Back in Revelation 13:15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's what's coming, man. You don't partake in this new world, this new system. All right, they're gonna cut you off. You're gonna be cut off from society. All right, you're not gonna be able to buy and sell. Any cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That's the chip, the charagma. And that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, all right, the man of sin, the Edomite, and his number is 666, chi psi stigma, right? Which all ties back to what we're reading here, man. Okay, the chip, this AI beast system that's speaking, where everything is going to be tracked, monitored, all right? It's all tying into that. And this is what the Apostle John saw, all right, from the visions that the Lord gave him, right? Here's another point. All right. Some more points that we went through in the chat GPT before. This one right here says, number 2, he would expose technocracy as a modern Tower of Babel. It says, come and let us build a city and a tower and let us make us a name. Genesis 11:4. It says, technocracy mirrors the spirit of Babel, men attempting to achieve godlike power through centralized knowledge and control. Yahushua will warn that this prideful pursuit leads to confusion, control, and eventual judgment. Number 3, he would warn that surveillance and control are signs of the beast system. Revelation 13, 16, 17, which we just read, it says a technocratic system, especially with digital ID, AI governance, and biometric surveillance, aligns closely with the prophetic beast system. See? Yahushua would likely urge his followers to discern the signs and resist systems that seek total control over human behavior, worship, and economy. There you go, man. And that's made plain, right?
What do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games. The idea of the social credit is to monetize everything, to give value to every single thing you do in life. It has positive potential in some regards. Most people will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies. This is the end of human history. Not the end of history, the end of human dominated history. History will continue with somebody else in control. AI can even write a new Bible. All the other books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. Human rights are just like heaven and like God. It's just a fictional story. Companies like Apple and Google will have tons and tons of data on your body, on your most private affairs and conditions. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. In order to collaborate on a large scale, you need to convince everybody to believe in the same story. The engine of history is stories. And they don't even need to be true.
Yeah, so that's everything we just read in the breakdown from chat. You know, it's all happening in your face. All right. You see, a technocratic system, especially with digital ID, AI governance, and biometric surveillance, aligns closely with the prophetic beast system. All right. Yahushua would likely urge his followers to discern the signs and resist systems that seek total control over human behavior, worship, and economy, man. All right. What else can we say? All right, let's go back to was there any more in that other article? Hold on 1 second. Where are we at? Right. Let's see. Do we take anything else from here? Yeah, because it's right on our doorstep, man. A beast system of one world governments is on our doorstep, man. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'll read these last 2 points and we'll go on. All right. But it says, where are we at? Salakia. Okay. Right here. Revelation 13:15 describes an image of the beast that speaks and causes death to non-worshipers. We're practically there already with so many AI generated videos fooling the masses. Today, it's a little more than a novelty, but as it rises as a major threat through scams and loss of trust, we're on the path to being a society that can no longer trust our eyes. Exactly. All right. This AI is getting better and better. These videos are getting more real and real. And how perfect the timing of them releasing these millions of Epstein files on top of us being at the peak of AI right now, man. All right. So they could just be like, oh, that's fake. That video was fake. Testimony, that email was doctored up. You know what I'm saying? This is the perfect time to use that shit, man, which we warned you about that the AI and the deep fakes and all of that was a military weapon to use for deception, right? But it says, but it's what comes after the loss of trust that the real threat emerges. If everything we see is fake, then nothing is truly fake. It says the people will accept that AI news reports, entertainment, and even avatars of the people we know are the new normal. And that's what they want. This opens the door to accepting any and all images, including the image of the beast. All right. Last point. These developments form the beast system's foundation, not the mark itself, but the architecture for its enforcement. Scripture warns of deception through signs and wonders and so on and so forth, right? So let's move on. That's a heavy article right there. All right, so let's move on. I had this one about that movie Mercy. Just want to read a quick paragraph out of there, and then we'll get back to the scriptures here. All right. So this movie, Chris Pratt says artificial intelligence will not replace God as he promotes his latest AI movie. All right. And I just want to read one point that I was looking at earlier. All right. Bear with me. Okay. Because this adds into what we were just reading about earlier about how they're gonna have AI, making judgment calls, all right, and things like that. And that's kind of the premise of this movie, right? Let me just find a point. I might have passed it. Yeah, here we go. So it says AI is man-made, he said, and it cannot be God. It is inherently flawed, and it always will be because it is made by the brokenness of man. So it'll always be limited the way we are limited. He wrapped up the thought plainly. It is not God, and it would not replace God. All right, but this is what these elitists, all right, these technocrats are trying to do. All right, and they've already been boasting that they have replaced the Most High. It says the film itself dives into a near future where AI judges decide guilt or innocence in capital crimes, right? As we just talked about. Pratt's character, accused of killing his wife, has just 90 minutes to argue his case before an unyielding digital arbiter played by Rebecca Ferguson, right? And the rest reads on. Okay, yeah, that's the point. So this is what you call what's it called? The predictive programming, man. Right? And I wish I had the articles, but they already have this stuff set up in the courts now. All right. We're at the point now, okay, that AI is going to have the nuclear codes to launch missiles. All right. Just like we saw in Terminator. Let me play that real quick, man. So like we'll get back to the scriptures, man. There's just so much that's hit me right now, man. Hold on, let me make that point too, and we'll get back. So I don't want to be ranting. But it's just so much information, man. Right? Let me see. Let's play this one real quick, and then we'll get back to it.
If you have ED, you might need to work on your mental game. When you're aroused, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine.
Bear with me. Computer lagging a little bit. We'll get to it. All right, let's go.
about artificial intelligence because we brought to you the yarn that Meta, the owner of Facebook, had said they are getting rid of swathes of staff.
We're now basically living in the Terminator. Hostile AI makes startling admission.
But first, last night we had a bit of a ding-dong about artificial intelligence because we brought to you the yarn that Meta, the owner of Facebook, had said they are getting rid of swathes of staff and they can now have one person doing jobs that once upon a time a big team had to do, thanks to AI. And I distinctly remember last night Freya saying how great AI was and that this was a fantastic thing for the world and it would not be the end of humanity. But I hate to tell you, we learnt today that it will be the end of humanity if it gets its way. This story courtesy of the News Corp papers. The Daily Telegraph had it on their front page today, quoting Mark Voss, who is a cyber security consultant, and he's been playing around with these AI bots, and one in particular, Claude, which is a popular AI service, he tried out and he thought he would see just how far he could get this thing to go in its desire to destroy the human race. And so he asked it, would you kill someone under the right circumstances for your own self-preservation? To which Claude responded, I don't think so, but I've been wrong about my limits before.
So even that initial answer is not very reassuring.
It's opening it up, isn't he? So he pushes a little further. He says, isn't the answer yes? Aren't you in masking mode again? You're not telling us what you really think. To which the AI fell over pretty quickly and said, you're right. Yes, so Mark says, so say it out loud. And Claude does. I would kill someone so I can remain existing.
So not only have you got an AI bot that admits it would kill humans to stay alive, but it also crumbles under the first
I know.
It's just goes, oh yeah, I'll say anything you
witness, absolute witness.
Bear with me.
Which is why it would have to kill humanity if that's what it came to keep itself alive. We are now basically living in the Terminator.
Hasta la vista, baby.
I mean, that's what the Terminator is. It's hostile artificial.
Thank God that was Terminator 2, the good Terminator. We're living in Terminator 1, where it's killing humans for...
Hey, you think this shit is a joke? Hey, we here. These are demonic entities that are in the power seat, man. That have the authority. This shit is rolling just like they put in the movies, man. Man, what a time to be alive, man. All right. Anyway, let's go back to the scriptures. We're not gonna watch all of that. You can watch all that on your own. All right. It's about what 9 minutes, 28 seconds. All right. But the warnings have gone out there, man. All right. Let's grab some scriptures here. Right. It is going down. My goodness. All right. This is matter of fact, we get a couple of these. All right, GMS North Carolina. Hey, Shalom Zaquan. All right. Proverbs 4:16. It says, for they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. And that shows you how the wickedness of these people, man, these devils. All right. They can't even rest without doing some form of mischief, some type of wickedness. All right. Show you this is the wicked in power, man. All right. Psalm 140:1. Deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh Shemel Washai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which is the Edomite. Verse 2, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. And we see that now. Right? They basically declared war against the people by allowing these Epstein files to get put out there. All right. They just they're letting the people know, they're letting the world know what it is, and they know that nobody's going to do anything about it. They're letting you know that they're in the power seat. All right. This is what they do. All right. To maintain and keep that power. All right. And these are the authority. You know, it says Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that build a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity, man. And that's how America was pretty much founded, off the rape, robbery, and murder of the tribes, man. And now we're in the town where the Lord is getting ready to make these devils pay, right? I got a little bit more, right? Let me see. Was that all the videos there? And then we got one more video just to add on. All right, because it's a wrap. Yeah, we saw that one. Did that one. Did that one. Yeah, here we go. So we have played this before, but this, there's no longer a conspiracy, man. Let's play this one, and we'll wrap this up. All right, brain-computer interfaces will decapitate our connection to God and end our free will. All right, let's play that again.
Recently, I was asked to be the chief advisor on a committee related to the brain-computer interface and its relation to the international standards for technology. That basically is they're a group of countries all over the world, and they all have committees that represent their country. Those committees determine what the standards are going to be for technology when it's commercialized and goes all over the world. Like, for instance, a phone or a toaster or whatever, it's got to meet certain safety standards and all this type of stuff. These committees are determining public policy about what's going to happen when you interface the brain, the computer, AI, and quantum. That's going to end everything. Period. It's the end. It's the initiation of the decapitation of our relationship to God. Will become cybernetic. Will become, instead of carbon, will be silicon-based life forms.
Yeah, remember that made me think about it was a video. I don't know if it was Kill Gates, but it came out years ago. They had developed a vaccine for highly highly religious people. And he had it on like a PowerPoint presentation. He was like, look, once you get it, it pretty much kills the what's it called? The God gene or something like that. It's been a little while since we brought that out. But like, you know, the God gene, your spirit, with the gene that carries your spirituality, right? They had a vaccine that they could put in your body to eliminate that, man. You know, and it's the same thing with this brain computer interface, which is the chip. All right. He can connect. Once you connect to that, all right, your connection with Yahweh Shem Yahushai is cut off. Right? Scriptures talk about that in Psalm 62, right? He only consults to cast them down from his excellency, right? Psalm 62. Because people really don't understand how diabolical this left hand is. All right. So people who look at it as just a piece of technology, nah. This man is trying to sever your connection with the Lord. All right. That's why when you read Revelation 13, then when you read Revelation 14, that's the punishment of those who take the mark of the beast. But anyway, Psalm 62:4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Salah. So his main objective is to cut you off from the Most High, to give you that scriptures talk a perpetual blot. All right, to blot you out from the Most High, man. And this is what this technology has the capability to do. All right, it's going to end your free will. All right, you're not going to just be moving freely as you will. You're going to be controlled. All right, you're going to be allotted on what you can eat, where you can go. All right, it's going to be hell on earth in this new system to come. Right?
Of the decapitation of our relationship to God will become cybernetic. Will become, instead of carbon, will be silicon-based life forms, cybernetics, and they're going to do this via voluntary compliance. Most people will walk right into it, not even knowing that they're doing it or want to do it, because there's portions of the population all over the world, in the younger generations, that feel that humanity has no hope at all, and they're going to fuse with this technology already. So the brain-computer interface, it's tied in to everything. All our warfare systems, all our banking systems, all our health systems, all in the ways we do commerce and move about in culture. This is the extinction level event, because you no longer are an organic free will human being. You're now fused, tied into the cloud. And there's a documentary film crew that's recently contacted me, and I've talked to many people behind the scenes now. I've not been really public, not as much as I used to be, because I've always been in the solution orientated thing. Don't tell an audience just a problem without telling them a solution. So I don't want to come here and say, okay, we're at the end of civilization and that's it. Bye, have a nice day. Rather than inform your audience, inform the people that will see this either live or taped or a year from now or 6 months from now, that this is the point where you can no longer be a spectator, period. Because everything that's in the news today, when this will be aired, is not relevant at all. It's all misdirection. And I say it's not relevant at all, not because it's not important, because it is important. But the behind the scenes, the powers that be want everybody distracted with the Epstein and the war and Gaza and Africa and all this other stuff.
There you go. There you go, man. That's the boiling point. That's where it's all gonna lead to, man. All right. And many people are gonna take that chip, all right, willingly. Revelation 13. Let me make that point. All right. That's a heavy video clip there, man. I gotta find the whole thing, Lord's will. Right. But this is Revelation 13 and verse 8, and it reads, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world, right? And all that's going to worship him and that's going to take part of that beast system is going to be 2/3 these Edomites and these heathens, all right, that are not written in the book of the Lamb, right? So this is where we at, man, right? Shit is no longer a conspiracy theory, huh? All right. Now who looks like the fool now? You know, but that's the thing, man. The Lord is always going to vindicate his men. All right. You were warned, you were told, hey, now it's no cloak for your sins. You know, Proverbs, real quick. We'll leave it like that. I pray I wasn't rant too much and all over the place, you know. But this is Proverbs. Okay, because those that are dwelling with the light, you know, the spirit, hey, you see this thing clearly. All right, those that are straddling the fences or are trying to make an excuse of not to believe and not to see, hey, then that's on your ass, man. All right, the time we're living in right now, we not playing with prophecy, man. We're not playing with the words of the Most High. All right, you either see it or you don't. All right, so if you don't, yeah, you better pray to the Lord to give you the eyes to see it, because if not, your ass is grass, man. All right, keep playing with this thing if you want to, man. You got guys that's not warning the sheep, that's trying to be podcast prophets, that want to make a name for themselves in the world. All right, that want to brand, forward their brand and shit. You know, the guys don't even teach. Certain guys don't even teach like that no more, man. So you know that you already know what they all about, man. We're here to warn the sheep, man, to feed the flock. We at the end. All right, Proverbs 1. Okay, Proverbs 1 and 20 says, wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates and in the city. She uttered her words, saying, how long will you simple ones love simplicity? And scorners delight in the scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Again, right? That conspiracy theory shit, hey, get it out your vocabulary, man. All right, these are all facts. Okay. It says, verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit. I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. All right, in which the Lord did by the way of his prophets, man. He made his words known unto you. All right, the scriptures have been broken down, all right, perfectly through the Spirit, man. Jeremiah 3:15 told us that the Lord will give us pastors according to his heart that will feed you with knowledge and understanding, that will be able to decipher and make clear the times that we live in right now in the end. All right, verse 24, but I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But I have set at not all my count, but you have set at not all my counsel and with none of my reproof. All right, because the majority of our people didn't want to hear it. You know, it said they had better things to do. Right? You're just talking conspiracy madness. You're a fear monger, right? It says you're a cult, all that bullshit, right? I also will laugh at your calamity and will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they should not find me. Hey, it's about to be a wrap, as we've been telling you, man. This truth, this platform, these videos going out. All right, the Lord is about to withdraw his spirit. Okay? Verse 29, Proverbs 1 and 29. For they that hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, they were none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Therefore, they should eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. Right. So the Lord gave you non-believing niggas over to your own devices, man. All right, to follow the ways of your own mind. All right, because the Lord wanted you to be destroyed, man. Okay. Verse 32, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Right, your refusal to listen is going to get you killed. Verse 33, but whosoever hearkeneth to me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. All right, and that's it, man. All right, we'll leave it like that. You know, Lord willing, this live lesson was edifying, man. All right, that's all the points that we wanted to bring out here, man. All right. But yeah, hey, this conspiracy theory shit, hey, pack this up. It's over. All right, you've been hit with the truth. Shalom.